For my project, I went to the Naugatuck State Forest. I have only been there twice before this visit, but I really enjoyed it both of those times. The whole area is very peaceful, and I have always found a good view whenever I have gone. However, this does not mean that it is immune to being touched by humans in the Anthropocene. On this occasion, I was able to find many things that indicate that we have been there. Almost immediately after walking into the park, I noticed something. There are trails going everywhere throughout the area. These paths are great examples of soil compaction or hardening. Having humans walk on them for years turned normal ground into hard, flat, and distinct trails that could not be missed. Some of them were also made of asphalt and crushed stone. This will almost definitely be visible in the layers of rock underground when looking back at the geologic record, as pavement is not a natural material, while the dirt paths themselves might be harder to see. The paths held another sign of human activity: mining. There was too much crushed stone on top of the trails for it to have been dug up where each one was made. There are two possibilities of how this happened. In one, humans were excavating something in the area, maybe to help shape the reservoirs. They might have then used the leftovers to help make the park by taking the small stones dug up and breaking apart the others. In this case, the type of rock will not stand out, but the geologic record in certain areas will show that there is not a large amount of small stones, while in the past there will be. In the other scenario, stone was taken from somewhere that was not local and blasted into the pieces that ended up here. A process such as this will be easy to see for someone looking at Naugatuck from the future, as the layers of rock in the area will contain one that probably does not belong with the rest. I also saw many different human-made structures, most of which were damaged in some way. The asphalt paths were the first that I saw, followed by two concrete dams at either end of one of the reservoirs. They were most likely built in the formation of these bodies of water. They were being eroded at certain points by the water and also possibly weathered by nature. The trails were cracked in many places thanks to time. These structures may or may not be preserved. The water and wind might not destroy them quickly, or at all, which would leave a trace in history as the concrete is just as synthetic as the asphalt. However, it is more likely that given enough time they will be taken apart completely, leaving no record that they were ever there. There was also a small brick stand in the middle of that reservoir, but it was mostly torn apart already, and in a million years will almost definitely not be able to be seen in the rock layers. While I was looking at the weathering on the dam, I realized that it was carrying more than one sign of human activity. It was also controlling the flow of the water from one reservoir into a stream that led out to another area, as seen on this map. The depth of the water coming out of it was much shallower than that of what was going in. I later saw this again at another dam found on the other end of this same reservoir. Additionally, this whole body of water, along with the multiple other reservoirs in the forest, are all themselves examples of stream alteration. These dams control how much goes into and out of the area, something that could not have been done without humans. These whole environments will be kept in the geologic record, much like the landfill near Horsebarn Hill as we talked about in class, where normally the rock layers might show a dry piece of land. Thanks to humans, the landscape of a pond or lake will be kept there instead. These dams prove to be gold mines for indicators of the Anthropocene. On top of the weathering they displayed and the way that they direct the flow of the water, they are also denying the areas past them of sediment. As I mentioned before, the water that came out of them was in a thin sheet and did not look like it contained anything at all. This could lead to habitats further down the chain of water being destroyed as not enough sediment can reach them. This could also lead to higher erosion rates and land subsidence in these places, as material that is being taken away by the water there is not replaced. If we had not blocked these areas off, this most likely would not have happened. This process would result in gaps in the rock record in certain areas downstream from the reservoir.